I've been a teacher for over a decade, and it's my whole world. The classroom with its creaky desks, colorful posters, and the sound of young voices feels like home. I've won 3 teaching awards, one for innovative lesson plans, another for student mentorship, and a third for helping struggling kids shine. I've seen shy students find their voice, kids who couldn't read a paragraph go on to write essays, and math-phobics solve equations with a grin. I've seen it all. My secret has always been patience, which was a knack for making lessons fun and believing every kid has potential. But this year, one student pushed me to my limit. Her name was Katie, a 15-year-old in my 9th grade class, and she was unlike anyone I'd ever taught. Katie wasn't just struggling, she flat out refused to learn. She'd slouch in her seat, earbuds in, scrolling her phone while I taught. I'd call on her and she'd give me a blank stare or a rude smirk. Whenever I tried to engage her, I got disrespected. Katie, can you solve this equation? It's just like the one we practiced.
Why should I? This is boring, I don't care.
I tried everything. I gave her simpler problems to build her confidence and sat with her during lunch to explain concepts. I even brought in puzzles to make math feel like a game. Nothing worked. She'd snap at me, roll her eyes, or just walk out of class. I kept my cool, but it was tough. I'd go home exhausted, replaying our interactions, wondering what I was missing. Katie, I know math isn't your favorite, but let's try this together. I'll help you.
Whatever, Miss Anna, you're wasting your time. I'm not doing it.
I didn't give up. I've had tough students before, and I always found a way through. I didn't want Katie to be the different one. I called Katie's mom, Linda, and asked for her to be present at the upcoming parent-teacher conference, because she mostly never was. On that day, the conference was packed. There were other teachers, parents, the usual chaos. I pulled Linda aside in a quiet corner of the gym, where we'd set up tables for the event. Linda, I need to be honest. Katie's failing every subject. She's not doing her work, and she's rude when I try to help.
Oh, Anna, I'm at my wit's end. Katie's always been stubborn, but I want her to do better. I don't know what to do. She needs to pass to have a future.
Linda's voice cracked, and her eyes welled up. She looked like a mom who'd tried everything and was losing hope. My heart went out to her. I've seen parents like this, feeling desperate and scared their kids are slipping away. I wanted to help, but I wasn't sure how I could. Well, I can give her extra resources, maybe some study guides, but Katie has to want to improve.
Can't you tutor her after school? I'll pay you anything. Please, Anna. You're her best chance.
I don't do private tutoring, Linda. My days are long, and I have other students to focus on.
Please, I'm begging you with the Lord's name. I'll get on my knees if I have to. Just help my daughter.
She was practically shaking, her hands clasped tight. I felt trapped. I genuinely didn't want to take on extra work, but her desperation was hard to ignore. Okay, Linda, I'll think about it. I can't promise anything, but I'll consider it.
Thank you. Thank you. You're a lifesaver. Let me send you something, just a gift.
No, come on, that's not necessary. I haven't even agreed yet.
Please, Anna. I know you haven't agreed. Just let me do it. It's just a thank you. What's your bank details?
Before I could stop her, she was tapping on her phone. That night, I checked my account and saw that $1,000 had been wired to me. I was stunned. I called Linda to return it, but she wouldn't hear it.
Keep it, Anna. It's a gift. I know you'll help Katie. Please don't send it back.
This is too much, Linda. I haven't decided yet.
I trust you. Just take it for my peace of mind.
I felt uneasy, like I'd been roped into something I didn't sign up for, but Linda's pleading voice stuck with me, and I let it go. 2 days later, Katie's test scores came in. She scored 0 out of 20 on math, science, and English. 3 tests, 60 questions, not a single answer right. I stared at the papers and felt my stomach sinking. I couldn't let her keep failing like this. I called Linda and asked her to bring Katie to school the next day. Linda, I'll tutor Katie after school 3 days a week, but she has to show effort or it won't work.
Oh, Anna, you're an angel. I'll pay you $2,000 a month, whatever you need.
That's way too much. I'd only charge $500.
No, $2,000. You're saving her future. It's worth it.
I argued, but Linda refused to give up. From her firm voice, I could tell she wouldn't take no for an answer. I gave in, feeling like I was losing control of the situation. Before starting, I went to Mrs. Carter, the school owner, to keep things transparent. I didn't want any trouble. Mrs. Carter, I'm tutoring Katie after school. Linda's paying $2,000 a month. I just want you to know.
That's a lot of money, Anna.
I said the same thing. I was going to take $500, but she insisted on this price.
All right. Since she insists, it's only right you take it. Be careful with this, and keep me updated, especially if anything feels off.
Tutoring Katie was like pulling teeth. She'd show up late, if she showed up at all. When she did, she was a nightmare. Always rude, distracted, and proud of it. She'd sprawl across the desk, texting or snapping selfies, ignoring my lessons.
Why am I even here? This is so stupid. My mom's loaded. I don't need this. I don't need education.
Katie, your mom wants you to succeed. Without education, you can't succeed. Let's just try one problem together.
You're just in it for the cash, Miss Anna. Don't act like you care.
Her words stung, but I kept going. I'd spend hours preparing lessons, tailoring them to her level, but she'd crumple worksheets or laugh in my face. I started dreading our sessions because my patience was wearing thin. Every week I'd call Linda to report Katie's behavior. Linda, Katie's not trying. She's rude, skips lessons, and won't do the work.
Oh, Anna, I'm so sorry. She's just difficult. I'll send you $500 for your trouble.
I don't need more money, Linda. I need Katie to listen.
Please take it. You're doing so much. Don't give up on her.
This happened over and over. $300 one week, $600 the next. I'd refuse, but Linda would beg, her voice trembling like I was her only hope. I felt guilty saying no, so I'd take the money, but I told Mrs. Carter every time, keeping a record of each payment. It was overwhelming, like I was being paid to feel bad. 4 months in, Katie was worse than when we started. Her grades tanked to zeros and single digits on every quiz. She was bolder with her insults, mocking me openly.
You're the worst teacher ever. No wonder I'm failing. You're useless.
Katie, I'm giving you everything I've got. You have to meet me halfway.
Whatever. My mom's gonna make you sorry for this.
I was done. I couldn't keep pouring my energy into someone who didn't care. My other students were thriving, and I was neglecting them to deal with Katie's attitude. I called Linda for a final meeting one day. Linda, I can't tutor Katie anymore. She's not improving because she refuses to try. I've done all I can.
What? You're quitting because you're a fraud? You took my money and made my daughter dumber.
That's not true. I've worked hard, but Katie won't cooperate.
You're a thief. You've been stealing from me, and now Katie's worse off. You owe me $30,000 for ruining her education.
I don't owe you anything. You forced that money on me. I never asked for it.
You're crazy for saying that. I've paid you over $30,000. You'll give it back, or I'll destroy you.
Linda looked so angry and scary. She called me a liar, a cheat, and a failure of a teacher. I'd never seen her like this. Gone was the desperate mom who wanted her daughter to improve. This new one was replaced by someone cruel and vicious. I stood my ground, but I was shaking. I took what you insisted on giving me. I've been honest. You can't blame me for Katie's choices.
I can, and I will, because you're at fault. You'll pay every cent, or I'll sue you. You'll regret crossing me.
She wasn't bluffing. 1 week later, Linda sued me, dragging me to court. The courtroom was cold and packed with people, making me feel small under their stares. Linda stood up, her voice loud and mean.
Anna's a thief. She tricked me into paying her thousands, then failed my daughter on purpose. She's a deceiver who used us.
I felt so disappointed, but I was ready. I'd been careful from the start. Every meeting with Linda, I turned on a small recorder in my pocket, just in case things got messy. I stood before the judge and played the tapes, every word clear as day. From Linda offering me $2,000 a month, to pushing extra payments, then to begging me to take them even when I refused. I recorded every meeting with Linda. She set the tutoring price and forced extra money on me. I reported every payment to my boss, Mrs. Carter, and complained about Katie's refusal to learn. I called Mrs. Carter to the stand. She walked in and backed me up.
Anna told me about every payment from Linda, from the $2,000 monthly to the extra gifts. She also came to me multiple times, frustrated because Katie wouldn't engage. Anna's honest and dedicated. Linda's a bad mom who refuses to acknowledge her daughter's misbehavior.
After a while, the judge finally spoke.
Anna is not guilty of theft or deceit. Linda, your accusations were false and defamatory. Your actions constitute attempted extortion. You will pay Anna $10,000 for defamation of character and emotional distress.
Linda's face looked so defeated and angered. She begged the judge to give her time to gather the money, and was granted. I was so happy. Katie was expelled from school that week because her behavior had been a problem for too long, and this was the final straw. The school filed a formal complaint. The district attorney's office got involved, and Katie was summoned to juvenile court. She arrived in designer sneakers and an attitude like she was walking onto a red carpet, but the judge wasn't amused.
Miss Katie, your actions were malicious, calculated, and damaging, not just to your teacher, but to the entire learning environment. I see no remorse in your eyes. You are dangerously close to a sentence in juvenile detention, but I'm giving you a final chance to rehabilitate. You will perform 200 hours of community service, cleaning the school you insulted. Toilets, classrooms, garbage duty, supervised, visible, daily. You will also attend court-mandated anger management sessions with at-risk youth. Fail once, and I revoke this mercy.
I thought it was over, and that I could finally move on. Just days before the court date, strange things began happening. I started receiving anonymous emails from untraceable accounts, each one more disturbing than the last. You stole from a grieving mother. You'll pay. Hope your students know what kind of woman you really are. Then, my car was vandalized in the school parking lot. The words "greedy liar" were scratched deep into the paint. I reported it to the school security, but they said the cameras were mysteriously disabled that day. The next morning, flyers with my picture and the words "Predator Teacher Exposed" were scattered across the staff room and even some lockers. Students whispered, teachers looked uncomfortable, and I started to feel the walls closing in. I went to Mrs. Carter, trembling. "Mrs. Carter, someone's trying to ruin me."
This is disgusting. We'll investigate this immediately. But Anna, are you sure Linda didn't do this?
I wouldn't put it past her. Linda didn't pay the $10,000 as ordered. Instead, she showed up at school one morning, on the day she was supposed to pay, holding a knife and looking like a raging dog.
You destroyed my daughter's life. You'll pay for this, Anna. I'll kill you.
My heart stopped as she lunged toward me in the hallway. Kids screamed, teachers shouted, but thankfully, 2 janitors tackled her before she could reach me. Someone called the cops and they hauled her away. The court didn't go easy on her. She was forced to pay the $10,000, and for attempted assault with a deadly weapon, she got 3 years in prison with no chance of early release. The school rallied around me after that. My students made me cards. Some even hugged me, saying they were glad I was okay. Mrs. Carter gave me a week off to recover, but I was back in the classroom 3 days later because I couldn't stay away from teaching for a whole week. Months later, I took up a part-time job to tutor in a prison. It was surreal at first, walking into that prison classroom, lesson plan in hand, only to lock eyes with Linda Walters in an orange jumpsuit. She sat in the back, arms folded, face stony, like a queen stripped of her crown. 2 months of bad behavior had landed her in the education program, and now, by prison rules, she had to sit through my lessons or risk losing her few remaining privileges. Week after week, she endured every session in silence, unable to lash out like she used to. And then came the day I decided to lean into the irony. I was teaching similes and metaphors, simple stuff, but powerful when used right. The class was engaged. One young woman raised her hand.
Miss Anna, can you give another example of irony?
I smiled and glanced around the room, then let my eyes rest deliberately on Linda. "Certainly," I said, my voice clear. "Irony is when a woman threatens a teacher, tries to destroy her life, and ends up being taught by the very same person in prison. That's called poetic justice." A wave of laughter swept through the room. Linda didn't move, but her jaw clenched so tight I could see the muscles twitch. Later in the lesson, I passed by her desk and gently placed a worksheet in front of her. "You might want to pay attention today, Linda. The test next week will cover humility, something you used to fail at." She didn't speak. She couldn't. In my classroom, she was no longer the woman who once tried to ruin me. She was just another student. And I was the one with the red pen. But Linda being Linda, she refused to participate, never raised her hand, never turned in a single assignment. She'd just sit there, arms crossed, eyes full of resentment, trying to prove she was above it all. So I filed a formal report. I submitted weekly documentation to the prison warden's office, outlining her refusal to engage, her disruptive glares, her deliberate non-compliance with educational directives. I knew exactly how the system worked, and I used it. 3 days later, Linda lost every privilege. No commissary, no library access, no common room, no phone calls, not even the late-night television slot most inmates clung to for sanity. The next time she walked into my class, she looked smaller. No makeup, no smug smile, just a bitter silence that reeked of defeat. She knew exactly who did it, and I didn't have to say a word. She just sat there, pencil in hand now, trying to pretend she cared. Funny how prison has a way of teaching the lessons life tried to offer earlier, if only she'd listened. Thanks for watching.